Welcome to Learned and Go-Go, the podcast. Hey guys, happy Wednesday. It's me, Sydnee. I am your host, and I am also the author of Everything I Need to Know I Learned in Go-Go, How a Preacher's Daughter Pole Danced Her Way to Finding Her True Self. And I am so excited to be here with you guys. I'm so sorry I missed you last week. Thank you so much for understanding. I will get into more about my last week soon, but let's see. We have Erin and Lizzie in the comments already. I'm so glad you guys are here. I missed you. And Dustin's here too. Good evening. Good evening. So glad you are also here. Everybody that is here, chime in, say hello. Let me know how you are doing. What did I miss this past week with you guys? If there's anything I can do to shout out something for you, to plug for you, to celebrate with you, to send you good vibes, whatever it is, let me know. Yeah, Lizzie knows what's up. She said, puppy. Oh my gosh, guys. Have I got a tale for you? It's a really, really good tale. But first, I see that Kyler is here, and Kyler has good news. So please share. Please share. I cannot wait to see what your good news is. Luna says, I was waiting on Facebook and didn't see you go live. No worries. I'm hopefully live on Facebook. I don't see anybody in here from there. Let me see if oh, nope. I got to get to the Learn to Go-Go page. That's not going to help here. So I was actually a couple minutes late because I was trying to upload something on my phone. So sorry about that. But yeah, everybody's saying hello, and I'm still waiting to hear Kyler's good news. So please let us know what that is. I can't wait to hear. And let's see here. Da, 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 da. It says, switch to Learned and Go-Go, the podcast. It's so stupid how when it says I'm live, there I am. Hooray. Hi, me. When I set up the podcast, it puts it in like a secret Scooby area of my Learn and Go-Go, the podcast Facebook page, where you have to literally go to events to even see that it's there. That's why every week I share it. So if you ever are trying to sign on and can't get on, let me know so I can try and fix it, because technology can be wonky sometimes. So let's see. Erin says, Beware the Devil's Wrath is currently in the film festival circuit and will be doing a small theater run on November. Shut the fuck up. I'm so happy for you. Oh my God, that's awesome. Is it going to be streaming anywhere, or is it like, let us know when you know what theaters so we can get out there and support it, or if it's going to be streaming so we can support it? I am so happy for you. If you guys don't know, Erin is in Beware the Devil's Wrath. That's Reverend Mallory. Am I misspeaking? I think that's your role in there. But anyway, Erin is in there, so please, please, please support the film. Kyler says, I had an interview with a company on Monday, and they called me back and will give me a job offer tomorrow for a really good tech company. I am so happy for you. I know how hard it's been interviewing and stuff like that. I don't understand why. I keep hearing, people, nobody wants to work. Nobody wants to work. Everybody I know has been putting in a million applications, doing a million interviews, and not getting hired. So I don't understand where the disconnect is, but I'm really glad that you found an awesome company, and I wish you all the best, and you are going to kick ass. I'm so proud of you. That is fantastic. Let's see. All right, we got some congratulations. Awesome. So Severian is here and says, good luck with the interview, Skull. That is fantastic. The contract Kickstarter starts in less than a month. Another excellent film project. Everybody make sure you are supporting all of these indie projects, because without grassroots support, they're not going to make it. And so many of them are so much better than mainstream. There's so many creative people that just need the platform. So if you're not supporting them, they're not going to get out there. And don't think it has, like, a lot of the Kickstarters you can do, like a lot of them are really cool. You can get a a perk like the one I did for Red Huntress. You could get this cool Polaroid of me with my eyeball coming out, and it came with a poster and a T-shirt and an eyeball. I have the eyeball up there too. But even if you can't afford those perks, a lot of them have where you could give $5. You know, it doesn't have to be a whole lot of money. And if you can't even afford $5, you can share posts. You can, like give shout outs. That's for free. Like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. So awesome. And Kyler said, thank you. Nice. Oh, and beware his character is Pastor Brown. Pastor Mallory is in Bloody Bones, right? I got my pastors confused, I think. So, okay, got a lot of hellos, and thank you. It's been a long time coming. Yes, I'm so glad to hear that you got that job. I'm super, super psyched for you. That is so awesome. So, yeah, speaking of, okay, I didn't even have this on my radar to talk about, but so this past Monday, right? It was Monday, yeah, June 1st was my husband and my anniversary. We call it our 18th because it was our 18th year together, our 8th year married. I made sure that we got married on our 10th anniversary so Dave didn't have to remember 2 dates because that's kind of cool wife that I am. And we got to go away for a couple days up to the mountains. And one thing we love to do in the mountain house is watch really bad, usually horror movies. So we watched Killer Sofa. I keep wanting to call it Killer Couch. Has anyone in the audience seen Killer Sofa? It was on Amazon Prime. We rented it. And I remember seeing the thumbnail for it when we watched Lamageddon like a couple of years ago. I'm like, oh my God, Killer Sofa. Looks hilarious, right? So the thumbnail's like this couch with like the teeth and the You've seen it, Dustin? I'm not surprised. Before I say anything, give me your rundown on what your thoughts are of Killer Sofa. First of all, I thought, okay, it was on Tubi for a long time. That's how I should have gone. I should not have spent money on this movie. Yeah, so I don't remember how it ended. I think I checked out before the ending. Quick side note, Tatiana to everyone. Tatiana is Cheers. If you don't know the story behind Tatiana, it's in my book. You can get it at learnedandgogo.com. It has nothing to do with Cheers, but we say Tatiana on Wednesday nights. So cheers to y'all. So, like I said, okay. Dustin said, nope, I think we're on the same page on this one. Okay. I was so excited. Now, I love silly horror movies are like my favorite. I love them so much. This hopped right over silly into like not good stupid. Like I could okay. Because I know a lot of thought and energy and resources went into making this film. I respect that. I respect that someone had a vision. They made it into a complete project. And it's on several streaming things. I know how hard that is. I give respect. And it took place in Wellington, New Zealand. So you guys, I'm sure you know my best friend has lived in New Zealand for over 20 years. She moved there a long time ago. We grew up together. So I asked her, I said, in New Zealand, do you call a recliner a sofa? Because I was trying to figure out why it was called Killer Sofa. And it's a flippin' recliner. And she's like, no. We call it a recliner or a lazy boy if you want to call it. So now I'm even more like into this is really stupid. Okay. Pluses. I loved when the recliner went after people with the giant spring and would like stab them in the, like the spring would be and get them in the leg. That was funny. I love the different facial expressions that they gave the recliner with his little buttons, and he kind of looked like Muppetish. Cute, like that. My favorite part was, and I don't know how this happened, it was a friggin' recliner, but he's on the balcony and he's like peeking out. Hilarious. That's it. Stupid. So I'm just saving you guys. Like, do not spend the $3. I want my $3 back. I feel like was it Better Off Dead? I want my $2. You know, that's what I feel like. But little side note, because we were talking about I don't know, about indie films. Some are better than others. Just the same with Hollywood films. Some are better than others. But like I said, I respect the work that went behind the project. But the project itself, I give it. Oh man, I'm trying to think. When I first started this podcast, I would do stripper cinema, and I would have like 5 thongs was my rating system. This is just the butt floss. It wasn't even a full thong. I give it a butt floss. So let's see here. Let me get back to the comments. Giving Kyler lots of kudos. Oh, Luna says getting a better computer tomorrow and it'll make everything easier for podcast, website, and book work. You will love that. Working technology makes all the difference in the world. Aaron says, I'm a little good pastor and a bad pastor. That's awesome. Thank you. Happy belated anniversary. I appreciate that. Kyler says, oh, Sydnee, I meant to message you this, but here goes. Marriage is a special thing. It binds us forever for the worst and best, and maybe hard, but in the end, it brings the best joy. Happy anniversary. Thank you so much. That is awesome. Oh, Attack of the Killer Donuts on Tubi is a good, stupid, silly movie. That sounds great. That actually sounds fantastic. I will check that out. That's hysterical. Aaron says, Beyond Mamushi is a movie we did on the horror barbecue, said, I think you guys would love it. Okay. It's free on YouTube, and it's a cross between an art film and a psychological thriller. That sounds interesting. Very cool. Hey, Lucy's here. Thank you for hopping on. That is awesome. Dustin says the number one trilogy I would say to stay away from is Humpty Dumpty, especially the second film in the trilogy. I did not even know this existed, and I appreciate that advice because that sounds like something I would check out for sure. Oh yeah, I have not done the stripper cinema, I think, since season 1, and I stopped doing seasons. So it was a lot of fun, but surprisingly, there's not as many movies. Let me give a little backstory. So when I first started my podcast, I had a whole idea of how I was going to work it into my former occupation and the book and this and that. And we've evolved into what we have now, which I absolutely adore and love this so much. I love meeting with you guys every week. I love you all so much. And originally I'd call it stripper cinema, and Dave and I would watch a movie and give our feedback every week. There's not as many movies about exotic dancing or that have a stripper scene in them as you would think. So we got into some crazy like niche. I'm like, what the fuck is this? There was one, I can't remember the full name, but it had Blue Iguana in it. That one was, I really enjoyed that one. Of course, we did Showgirls. Got to do that one. But there was one, Strip Club Massacre. I was like, you know what? I wound up watching another movie too to do that week because I had nothing good to say about the film. I think there was like one cute chick in it. Other than that, it was just so bad. So we wound up abandoning stripper cinema because of like not being able to find enough content to add it every week. That being said, maybe I would make it a monthly segment. You know, like if you guys have suggestions, I'm sure there's a lot more on Tubi now that I've kind of had my eyes open to different streaming services that I did not know existed back then. Get Troma now. If you don't have Troma now, get Troma now. $4.99 a month, your first month free. Check it out. I don't get paid to say it. Just love the channel. So yeah, that was why stripper cinema went down by the wayside. Oh my God, Kyler. Whatever you do, don't watch The Killer Condom. It's a German film, so fucking crazy. I'm intrigued. It sounds horrible and intriguing at the same time. That's funny. Yes, yes. I need to bring back stripper cinema or a featured movie show for, okay. I can, see what I can do. So Severian says, bad movie, Escape Hatch. That sounds like a bad night after Taco Bell, is what. Okay, yeah, I could absolutely do bad cinema to make fun of. Absolutely. And like I said, I will start every time with saying, I know a lot of work goes into these projects, and not every project is going to be everyone's cup of tea. Some of them I just don't know how they got as far as they did. Tatiana. Tatiana to kill her sofa, who is actually a recliner, so it was a lie from the get go. All right, let's see. Everybody's saying, hey, 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 hey. Did I get a new tattoo? No, not yet. Have you not seen me? That's the only visible one, I think. This I got up at Mountain Wizard Tattoos by Valentina Tattoos, also known as Sling Skull. Highly, highly recommend. She designed that. Love it, love it, love it. Let's see. Oh, Dustin says I love Killer Condom. So now we have two different reviews on that one, and Luna's just laughing at Killer Condom. Aaron says a really good German horror movie is called Anatomy. I'm kind of afraid because I know what German porn is like compared to. So maybe if the horror realm goes into that kind of stuff too. Let's see. Okay, Lizzie agrees. Anatomy is disturbing. I 100% respect, your input on German film for sure. Luna says, "What was that? What was that? Does science theater?" I don't know what that means, sweetie. I'm sorry. What was that? Does science theater? And Luna's saying last year, 2 years. Oh, when did I get the tattoo? Within the last year. Dave and we have the same one. So, which reminds me of my cousin who wants to get a matching tattoo with her child that says matching tattoo. And I love that. If it wasn't her idea, I would absolutely steal that. I didn't even read the whole comment yet, Lizzie. I just saw Sydnee in capital letters. LOL, it's not like German porn. If you've seen Audition, it's on that level. I have not seen Audition. So now I'm going to have to start making a list, guys. We're going to have to add to our lists of things. And this will be the list of movies to see or not to see, to be or not to be, to see or not to see. Dustin says Killer Condom is actually a great film to watch during Pride Month. Okay, lots of LGBTQIA plus representation, not like German porn. That's going to be like how you explain things to me. Well, listen, Sid, it's not like German porn. Luna says, show that did the bad movie. Oh, Mystery Science Theater 3000. Yeah. I love MST3K. There's actually, I think it's Roku has an MST3K channel. And when we were down the shore a few years ago, it was just raining and gross out. And we just watched episode after episode after episode. It's fantastic. I love that. Aaron says, let's say this much. They use a very creative way to deal with people that are at a medical college. So it is like German porn. I'm kidding. Just kidding. And Luna's asking if it is in German. Like, does it have subtitles or is it? Okay, we are all invested in this movie. This is your homework this week, guys. We're all going to watch this movie and we're going to discuss it next week because I'm very, very intrigued. Kyler says, Aaron, Dead Meat is doing awards soon and The Toxic Avenger is a nominee. Really? That's pretty cool. Okay, and Dustin is recommending on Tubi the documentary Torah, which is about the life of Torah Satana, star of Faster Pussycat Kill Kill. Okay. Very cool. All right, I got to go back to, okay, it's called Anatomy. See, you guys, I got to write stuff down because my perimenopause brain will think it will remember. But that's like the biggest lie that I tell myself is I don't have to write that down. I'll remember. So you said it was like Audition. So we have Anatomy, we have Audition. We do not have Humpty Dumpty. So I'm going to put Humpty Dumpty, no. And then I'll remember that's a bad one. Killer Condom half and half, because we have half good reviews, half bad on that. And then we have Torah was the last one, right? Let's see here. Yes, okay. I am caught up and I have a lot of homework this week because that's a lot of recommendations. Let's see here. Okay, so Killer Condom is in German with subtitles. It makes it even funnier because it's supposed to take place in the US. That's hysterical, actually. Aaron says, Dead Meat is an awesome guy. Me and Lizzie met him at Frightmare, and he interviewed me. I'm in one of his videos. That's awesome. Can't be Toxie. That's fantastic. And Lizzie's agreeing. It is in German. It does have subtitles. They may have a dubbed option, but we tend to prefer the original audio. It loses something in translation. Gotcha. And then Aaron is recommending Grave Dancers. What's that one about? I love that, like, I don't even know what most of these are about. And I'm like, yeah, I'll watch them. Why not? Hey, there's my cousin. I was just talking about you, cuz. Welcome, welcome. Dustin says, for example, in the film, there's a person running for president of the USA and he is speaking all in German. Y'all know what I'm thinking. But I personally don't talk about such things on my show, but I don't have to say, y'all know. Aaron says it's about the superstition that you shouldn't walk or dance on someone's grave. Okay, so I know that's superstition. I also know that I grew up hanging out in graveyards and I'm sure walked on people's graves, not on purpose, not in like a mean, like rah, rah, rah way, but because especially like in New Orleans where everyone's buried on top of everyone, on top of everyone, on top of everyone, it's going to happen. There is a song. The group's called Delta Ray and it's called Dance in the Graveyards. And I adore that song. And I told my kids, when I die, you got to play it and you got to do a little dance. I don't care if you Macarena. Because the idea is, it says, when I die, I don't want to rest in peace. I want to dance in joy. And it's like celebrating the ascension, the transition, and all that. So to me, like dancing, you know, you could do worse to someone's grave than walking on it or dancing on it. But I love the superstition. So that sounds awesome. Let's see. Luna says, need list, but got cat in my lap. Kyler says graveyards are not the same anymore. Yeah, see, I think we've just been so overpopulated. And that's why when I was in New Orleans last year celebrating one of my besties' 50th, we did a graveyard tour and they have the above ground graves because if you buried people in the ground in New Orleans, they'd come popping back up to see you, a la Poltergeist. Hello. So they have basically the graves are all above ground and they're kind of like easy bake ovens because you get in there and then it's so hot, it just cremates you naturally. And then your bits fall to the ground. So then they stick somebody else in there. And we went to one graveyard. I know I showed you guys the pictures after it. I don't have them in my StreamYard anymore. I wish I could remember the name of the cemetery, but they said our tour guide was fantastic. He's like, most tours don't come here because they go to like the real nice, pristine ones. This particular graveyard is for the people that can't afford the other ones. He said, for $500, they'll dig you a hole and it's already occupied. It's just they kind of like, you got to move everybody else's bits out of the way, put your family member in there. He said, for $50, they'll give you a shovel, you dig it yourself. Crazy, right? And when you go around, there's the dirt from where people have been buried recently. You could see vertebrae, like, because everybody's just all mixed up, you know? And you know what? When you're dead, whatever, like, you would like to, I'm sure, be like, I have a nice, my own space or whatever, but you're dead. You're not going to care. But at least that's environmentally, like, you know, it kind of takes care of itself, the system they have. So I get that. Let's see here. I just went down on a tangent. Yeah, buried in the catacombs. Yep. Aaron says, name anytime type of film, and I can tell you an awesome one. It's one of my superpowers. That's fantastic. Pauper's funeral, yep. And $500 beats the hell out of 20 grand. Insane prices to bury people. Absolutely. And I really enjoyed this particular cemetery because people, since they don't have a lot of money, they use what they have to decorate the area for their loved ones. So there were some really cool things. One person's grave had a mailbox because, like, that's all they had of him, and they're just like, "Meow." So Luna says, so I can have a smoking hot body. And Dustin says, George Carlin had the best comments and jokes about death and humor and human interaction. I miss George Carlin. I'm really glad I got to see him live, but I miss him. He had a lot of very, very intelligent things to say. Tatiana, by the way. All right, so to completely switch gears, because we're almost halfway through already, guys. How did we get here already? Okay, wait. So before I go on to our next topic, Kyler has my attention with, did I ever tell you the time I found a human ribcage in the woods? No, please share. And Lucy is starting her shenanigans, love you, with another Tatiana. She loves to get us drinking. Let's see. Angela says, I miss him. He told my boss to fuck off. That's great. Aaron says, as long as I can haunt the place, I'm good. Wherever you leave your energy imprint, babe, you got it. Whether it's a graveyard or your house or, wherever, it's all good. I'm waiting to hear Kyler's story about the human ribcage. That's creepy. Let's see. Luna says, love George Carlin. Been listening since I was a kid. Dad had Class Clown albums. So creatively funny. Lucy says, that's my bartender side. I respect that for sure. And Lizzie says, the nicest one we found is a Hispanic cemetery out in Holland, Texas. It was smallish, and every headstone had a little glass case filled with stuff for the person. That is wonderful. That is really cool. I like those little mementos. And one thing that irritates me is when people will vandalize a cemetery, like people's loved ones left those tokens. Leave them alone. Leave them alone. And I hope that if you mess with a grave marker, that you get haunted and not by like a friendly ghost, because you deserve it if that's what you're doing. Kyler, tell us your story. Maybe YouTube's being slow again. I restarted everything, so I was hoping that it would keep it from being laggy again. So Severian says, amen. Angela says, you really need to visit during Dia de los Muertos here. It's so beautiful. I can only imagine. It is an absolutely amazing tradition. And I know how beautiful the area you live in is on a random day of the week. So I can only imagine what they do for the celebration. That's awesome. Fantastic. Okay, here's Kyler. He says, so before they gated it off, there was an unmarked slave commentary. I think you mean cemetery. And me and my parents took a walk in the woods, and I spotted something sticking out of the ground. I was like, ooh, cool stick. Nope, it was a rib. Yikes. Yikes. Did you ever find out who it belonged to? Or did you just kind of leave it and walk away? That's kind of creepy. That's very creepy. I haven't found human bones, but I've a few places where we lived, you dig in the backyard to put in playground equipment or whatever, and you find a little pet cemetery, and it's always like, oh, sorry, lovey, we'll go back to sleep. So, let's see. Angela says, yes, I love it. I had no idea how amazing it was the first year I went. We go every year, and I have so many amazing photos from the celebrations. That is so awesome. I love that. Aaron says, Kyler, that almost same type event is what inspired the movie Poltergeist. Yep. And I know you guys know, but that pool scene, they didn't let her know that they were not fake skeletons popping out of there. That's creepy. So, okay, now to fully switch gears. Like I said, I missed you all last week, but the reason why was so good because this is my new baby. And if you're just listening and you're not watching, this is my new puppy. Her name is Tipsy. We don't know what breed she is, but she's adorable. So we've been going back and forth with the idea of getting another pup since we lost Lexi in the fall, my loaf of love, and I miss her so much. And Muffy was always part of a pair. Like we brought her home when Lexi was 9. So Muffy always had another dog. And so when we lost Lexi, we're like, we should get Muffy a little sister. And we were always partial to labs. So we were trying to find another lab, and anything that, like any place we found fell through for whatever reason. So I got an email, and it's odd that I opened it because it was from a name I didn't recognize. And I don't typically open emails I don't know. But the name was the manager of Total Wine, the local liquor store. So they were having an adoption event on Tuesday. And it was from 4 to 6. And, like Tuesday, Dave's off Monday, Tuesday. So usually we have like full schedule of things to do and whatever. But we're like, you know what? We'll go see. We'll just go look. And if the dog that is meant for us is there, then we'll find her. We wanted a girl dog. So we went to Total Wine, we found her. I like see her, they only had 2 dogs there. I come in and I like lock eyes with her, and I like drop down on my knees and I go, "Hi baby." And she runs up and starts kissing me and just loving me. I'm like, "This is my dog. It's my dog." So then Wednesday, we took Muffy to the shelter to meet her, and they weren't really interacting. Like nothing bad happened, but like they kind of just avoided each other. But it was in an outdoor play yard that was all turf and mud, like because it had been raining. And this place is like half shelter, half vet. Now Muffy hates the vet, like hates the vet. Loves the actual vet, hates going to the vet. So you have to imagine she's going there. There's a bunch of dogs barking. It smells like the vet. She's not really, like she was drooling and kind of, like kind of freaking out because she doesn't know what's going on. Tipsy's just kind of like, yeah, whatever, whatever, guys. Like, I'm here. And they said, would you like to do a home visit? We're like, whatever you need to do. Whatever you need to do. We love her. Like, we want to bring her home, whatever. And the guy's like, I have a good feeling. Did you want to adopt her today? Yes. Yes, we do. So we took her home right then and there, signed all the paperwork and everything, and brought her home. And it's just been a perfect fit. So she's still a puppy. This is the 2 of them together. There's Tipsy and Muffy, but we named her Tipsy because we met her in the liquor store. So that's how we came up with it. And it's Tipzi because Lexi ended with an I. That's why Muffy ends with an I, and Tipsy had to end with an I. So we're keeping it all, on the same thing. But Muffy is doing great as a big sister. She is an absolute love. And then we also have my daughter's cat for the summer, who is being super sweet too. So everybody's getting along. Everything is good. So far, so good. This is them sleeping. Like, look at how good Muffy is. She has the patience of a saint with Tipsy sleeping on top of her. And this was Tipsy up the mountains. She is all legs and platypus feet. Super duper sweet. And what's this one? Oh, this one, I said she looked like she was channeling the Lion King because she looks like she's sitting up there and it's like, Simba, everything the light touches is our kingdom. That's what it looks like. And then this one is why I was messing around on my phone before the show tonight, because my daughter just sent me this picture. Look at the schnoz. So cute. So yeah, so Tipsy is a fantastic, fantastic addition to our pack, and she's doing really well with training. She was found in a house in Texas that was a hoarder situation. So she had a lot of litter mates. I don't know who else lived there. I don't know if it was dogs and cats or other animals or whatever. So she went from Texas to the shelter in Delaware to us. Um, so she's, she's getting down things like potty outside, and everything. So the thing is, I want to look at your comments before I share the next thing, but she's doing really well. She's already got sit down pretty much. She's got lay down pretty much. Like we've been working on it, and she's doing so well. So let's see here. Da, 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 da. All right. So Kyler, just adding to the story, says we left it, told the cops, they investigated it, found out it was a cemetery for slaves. The original owner of the land who sold the land did not tell anyone, so they almost built over if we didn't say something. That's horrible. And shame on that person. That is horrible. Wow. Let's see here. Oh, Luna says, I was wondering about the name. Yes, it's because we met her in the liquor store. So she's Tipsy. Right? Those feet. She got platypus feet. Cuteness overload. Warn a man. Let's see. Yes, you must come visit and play with the puppy. She is such a good puppy. And the funny thing is that, yes, I can't wait to meet her. Can you bring her to Trauma Fest? I don't think I can bring her to Traumathon. I don't think she's allowed. I'll have to look into it. Because that wouldn't be fair to her. I wouldn't want her to be in the crate while we're all at the theater. That's not, I would never do that. But I have to see if you can bring pets. I don't think you can, but we'll see. So the thing with Tipsy, we had her a couple days and she didn't make a sound, like nothing. Didn't bark, didn't growl, didn't. So out of nowhere, she makes this noise. Now I got it on video because in the last few days I've realized this is just how she talks. But when you're not expecting it, and they said she's most likely about 6 months old. So we're going with her birthday is November 16th. So when you're not expecting it, and this little 6-month-old angel comes at you like this, I seriously like almost peed my pants. I laughed so hard. This is the sound that my little Tipsy makes. Yeah. I told her I'm going to start a metal band and she can be the singer. This is what she does at us. Yeah. Excuse me. So when I'm like, do you need to go out? Do you need to? It is so friggin' funny. Hilarious. It is outdoors at a drive-in, but that doesn't mean that they'll allow animals. And plus, if we are staying overnight, I don't know how she would do in a tent. Oh, that's a terrible look. Hold on one second. Losing my... There we go. That's better. Sorry about that. Yeah, exactly. Metal scream, right? Hysterical. Yes, I say this as a compliment. Hellhound in the making. I keep telling her she's my little demon baby. So cute. Hey, Clark, I'm so glad you're on here. Yeah, Muffy, you really can't scare Muffy. Muffy is so like indignant and she'll just tell you how it is. Muffy, I go sing her and she goes, oh, like, so we're working on that with Tipsy. But I just was not expecting that. And like, she will chase you down the hall now going, blah, 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 and I think it's so freaking funny. This tiny little, so cute. I love it. When it says Godsmack singers out, I call her Sully with an I. That's hysterical. It is the best sound. Aaron says that is a very happy puppy sound. Elvis, my sweet boy, I used to have made that sound when he was really happy. Oh, I love that. She should be Guar's new singer. I think so too. That's hysterical. But we were dying laughing. Yeah, I could say she's an emotional support animal. I just really don't know how she would react. So, I have over a month to see to kind of work it out. So we'll see. But if not, so Severian, I'll bring her up to say hi to you and Alfie, whether it's a trauma or not. So Tatiana to new puppies and to older puppies who are being very, very good big sisters. I'm very proud, very, very proud of Muffy. One of the funniest things that happened, this was a couple days ago. When we got Muffy, she was 12 weeks. I think she was little. And Lexi took it upon herself to be, like puppy mommy. Like I was mommy and then Lexi was like doggy mommy. So one of the things doggy mommy does is teach the puppy how to play fight, like how to interact and everything. So Lexi would come up and like whack her and then lay on her back, like fight me, doing the submissive thing to try and teach Muffy how to fight. So I think Muffy was trying to do the same thing with Tipsy. And Tipsy's like off in La La Land, not paying attention. So Muffy would whack her, and then she's trying to log roll her, and Tipsy's not paying attention. So instead of just laying there, Muffy's like totally. It was so funny. I like pay attention to me. I'm trying to log roll you, and then since Tipsy's not paying attention, Muffy's like, oh my gosh, they're so cute together, so cute together, and the fact that Bella the cat is comfortable too. They do kind of gang up on the cat sometimes, but why must I feel like that? Why must I chase cat? They're not being mean. They're just being dogs. So, oh, there is so Severian Tatiana Crunch. What are you crunching? Is that ice? Tatiana to all of you. Oh, and for clarification, it doesn't have to be booze. You can Tatiana with water. You can Tatiana with a joke. You can Tatiana with whatever you want. Take a bite of a chocolate chip cookie. Whatever you want to do. Right, Luna? That's what I'm saying. Crunch. I don't know what the crunch is. Crunching ice. That's what I was wondering. Did I crunch ice without thinking of it? I'm sorry if I did. That was rude. I am an ice cruncher. I know it's terrible for my teeth, but I do it anyway. All right, so guys, tonight's question, now that we've gone through cutie pie puppy hour, I love that puppy so much, is I had an experience earlier that made me think about asking y'all for some advice. So I'll tell you how I handled it, but what do you do when someone is hurling insults or name calling directed at you? Now, this could be in person, this can be online. Most likely it's online. Most people don't have the balls to do it to your face. But as an adult person, how do you decide to respond, if at all, when someone comes at you with their idea of an insult or name calling? Oh, you're crunching cookies. Or are you saying, was that no, comma, crunching cookies? Or is that no crunching cookies? Punctuation matters. Okay, Luna says, depends on where and if I'm working. Fair point. Okay, not working. Working's a whole other thing. This is, we'll just say in an online discussion, just to keep it a little bit more, like in a box. Okay, Clark has learned to ignore it. Very good. Very good. That is my typical response. Luna says I'd let them have it. Okay, excellent. Aaron says, if someone does that, you calmly say, it's a shame you have to walk with your face covered up and your ass left out in the cold. So Severian is laughing. Lizzie says, I roll my eyes. I'm over caring what people think about me. Whatever they're on about is a reflection of them, not me. Yep. And Clark says, if you respond, they will respond back. Lucy says, passive. Okay. So, Clark, you and my husband are of the same school of thought. And I must say that the majority of the time, that is what I do because of exactly that. Any response is opening up a line of communication. Whether you tell them to go fuck themselves or whether you tell them something kind, you're still opening up the line of communication. And most of the time, just, meh. But sometimes I'm feeling saucy. Sometimes I'm feeling saucy and I just can't help myself. So that's why I was just curious because, um, like it's the person that was, like saying this obviously is mental. Like for a little background without getting into too many personal details, there was a post 2 months ago that something was said. It was candled. Then this person comes out of left field, I think yesterday, like 2 months later, and comes at me and my sister, like out of nowhere with stuff that had nothing to do with anything with the post. So I think because my flabbers were gasted, that's why I was like, qua? Like, because most of the time I'd be like, sucks to be you, whatever. Um, so I did respond. I do like this. You don't have to attend every argument you are invited to. Yes. Yes. And Lucy says, yep, and block. So Severian says, I like to deconstruct their own insult and explain to them how idiotic it is, just like in the movie Roxanne with Steve Martin, based on Cyrano. Contrary to popular belief, revenge villa incredible. Again, it depends. Like most of the time, not responding and not calling them out, which believe me, I love calling somebody out. But a lot of the time they're looking for that, and when you don't respond at all, it is the best revenge because then they're just constantly checking, like, did I miss a notification? And there's nothing there. And that eats them alive. But because of the people involved, I felt like I had to say something. I was very respectful, much more respectful than was warranted, in my opinion. And told them about themselves in a polite way. And I even ended it with have a wonderful day and the little kissy emoji, which, okay, that might have been a little bit of a smart ass. But yes, so the funniest part was they told my sister that she was, why don't you go back? Something about how she's partying with her ex horror sister. Now, first of all, I'm a lot of things. That's not one of them. Second of all, I don't party. Like, I don't leave the freaking house. I have an indoor cat. Okay. I will go to an event like Tromathon, or I will go to, a family birthday party. I do not go out and party. So the fact that that was said just cracked me up and said, why are you still on the pole? You have no coordination. It just cracked me up too. So anyway, I just thought it was funny. So I was just curious, like to see how you guys like respond to things like that. Because I was amused and I just had to like I said, the majority of the time, ignoring is the way to go, whatever, but I like so Severian said, I like to take parts of their argument and be like, where did you get, what is the basis of your opinion? Because you don't talk to me. Like, so all this to say, a little friendly advice, because I've been thinking about it. And one thing I've learned in my 51 years is a lot like Clark said about you don't have to attend every argument that you are invited to. You also don't have to put up with people because you might share a bloodline. At the end of the day, the people that are your chosen family which you may be related to or not. They're the ones that matter. And I thought about it like this. I'm like, okay, there's all different types of trees, right? You can have pine trees, you can have oak trees, you can have maple trees, whatever. Sometimes a branch of that tree gets sick or is diseased. And in order for the rest of the tree to stay healthy, you have to prune that part off. You just have to cut it off, get rid of it. And that's kind of how I'm viewing this person is, you know what, in order for the tree to stay healthy, prune, prune, you know. So that's my 2 cents on that. So, and Clark is saying yes. And Angela's saying, I prefer my chosen family to a lot of my own. Amen. Yep. Luna's saying, sad but true. And Aaron's saying, when people try to talk about my loved ones, they better love the taste of my mop. Yes, exactly. Exactly. And that's why, like, I just sat there. Like I said, my flappers were gasted because this is somebody that I haven't even talked to in years. If I've seen at all in person, it's been decades. And someone that I unfriended on Facebook years ago because of their hateful posts. So sucks for you, I guess. But that's why I have all of you guys. You are my chosen family, and I love you all, and I appreciate you all, and you know I got your back. So if anybody comes at you, I'll be happy to do some pruning. Let's see. Lizzie says 100%. Let them believe they're persecuted all they want. Deep down, they know what they did. Exactly. Exactly. And a lot of it is attention seeking, I think. So, yep. Haters going to keep on hating. Potatoes going to keep on potating. For sure. And you know what? At the end of the day, when somebody comes at you like that, you can just be happy knowing that you're not them. So, because there's some sort of, I don't understand why some people are just inherently miserable and spread negativity. So, this is a good time to plug. Every day I do positive affirmations. I like to use these cards. They're called affirmators. They're little positive affirmation cards that a Facebook friend of mine sent to me. They're super cute. They got like little cartoons and stuff. And I do a positive affirmation every morning, and that is on my Learned in Go the podcast Facebook page, my Learned in Go Instagram, and my YouTube channel. So you can find them there. They're always under 3 minutes, super short, easy to share, easy to just check in with every day if you need a little boost. So spread the positivity, y'all, because there's a lot of negative energy in this world, and the only thing that conquers the dark is the light. So we need to look out for each other, lift each other up, and keep that positive energy flowing. Luna says they have never left their hometown or state and have a miserable life. Exactly. Another twig on this branch that I completely blocked years ago tried to convince me that it was okay that they were a bigot because that's the way they were raised to be. Qua. So not sometimes that's the scraping of the gene pool. So some people are just not worth getting into with it. So yeah, exactly, right? Like, not only did you think that, you said it in writing. Do you? I think you might know who it is. I didn't tell you this whole tale. I will have to fill you in because I guess technically we're related. We're both related to this branch. Redneck Dan. Exactly. That's hilarious. Oh my goodness. Yep. Maybe, but I don't doubt it. Yeah. Yeah. So guys, just a quick, okay, you know what? I blocked his ass. It don't matter. This person used to post videos of himself in his garage with a can of beer doing this little dance. And then he'd go, get some. What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? Okay. Lucy's giving us a Tatiana. Cheers. Cheers to not being bigots. Especially happy Pride Month. Pride Month should be every month, but happy Pride and Tatiana. Yep. I swear to God, I wish I had like screenshotted the videos because blocked. He is Redneck Dan, 100%. Get some. Some people don't have enough sense to be embarrassed. So yeah, I have Pride Weekend and grave dancers, which is funny. I have grave dancers. I don't know what I was talking about with that, but we were talking about grave dancers before. Interesting. But yes, this weekend is Pride Weekend in Philly. I will be going, and I'm really excited for that. I don't know if you guys have any Pride events nearby where you are, but definitely, if it's your jam, go and be supportive. A lot of the events are free. They're a lot of fun. It's a lot of positivity, a lot of pageantry, a lot of just great vibes. So, you know what? It kind of was like the Trump dance before Trump did it because I literally blocked this person probably 10 years ago now, if not more. I think it was more. But yeah, but with a can of like Genesee cream ale, you know? Like hysterical. That makes sense to do Pride in October because it's too hot in the desert. It's going to be 95 in Philly this weekend. So please pray for me that I don't melt. Um, Yay, Pride Month. Dancing at my funeral. Yeah, but I have it on the other side of the paper. Like it was something I was going to talk about before we talked about it. So that's kind of odd that I was being a little psychic there. So that's cool. What's his screen name? I'm going to troll him for a bit. I'll let you. I'm sure his Facebook is locked up tight, but I'll let you know afterwards. Yeah, I'm excited. The rest of the crew is going to take the train in the morning, but I'm going to stay with Tipsy and then Uber up a little bit closer to when it actually starts because I don't want to leave her alone too long between me leaving and Dave getting home from work. But my one daughter will be home, so I'll make sure that she's very well taken care of. My new little baby. I gotta show this picture again because it cracks me up with the schnoz. Gotta boop the snoot, boop boop. Kiss that baby's nose. So cute. Yes, I'm definitely gonna bring water for sure. Oh, love you. Happy Pride and congratulations again, Kyler. I'm so happy for you. That is awesome. I did not read the psychological explanation for the Trump dance related to his frontal lobe deterioration, but I absolutely believe that. Because that's just a very like not what most people would do. That's yeah. There's definitely something cuckoo bananas going on in there. But guys, it's been an hour. It flies by every week because I have so much fun with you guys and I did really miss you last week. So thank you for understanding that I was adding a new member to my pack that is just so super cute and I can't wait to continue to share tipsy tales with you guys and muffy moments. But yeah, it's been a really fun week with her and she's just a very very sweet angel. We're very happy. But I'm glad to be back on here with you guys. And as always, send me things to add to the Polcast wall. Please, I got space there. I got all this space here. And there's space over here. And then I do want to start the weekly shout outs when I start getting stuff to shout out. So send it to me. You can send it to me on Facebook. You can send it to me at Sydnee at learnedingogo.com or even sydneeauthor@gmail.com. And then I can, let you know where to send physical media to that I can hang up. I just always want to continue to shout out what's going on with you guys, to plug what you have going on, because when the tide comes in, all ships rise. The more we share each other, the more people will be added to our pack. So awesome. Thank you. Of course, Lucy, you're invited every week. I just know you get busy and forget. So that's why I send you a little reminder. So Severian says 95, but it's freezing today, right? Is this your first time in Pennsylvania, sweetie? You know how it is here. For sure. Let's see. Oh, love you too, Clark. Thank you so much for hopping on tonight. It was so great to see you on here. And I'm so glad you made it too, cuz absolutely. And yes, please send me stuffs. We got to keep our pen pals going for sure. And yeah, everybody is, you guys are the bestest. I just love that you all lift each other up and are there for each other, because that's, at the end of the day, that's what it is all about. So in the coming week, I hope that things are great. I hope that everything goes fantastic for you. But if you have to deal with online bullying, if you have to deal with something in your job that sucks, or just like shitty people in general, whatever it is, you have to take it head on, because when you stick your head in the sand, you think you're hiding from the world, but everybody else just sees a big ass. Love you.